Aung La,
Hi, how are you, Giovanni?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Good, I'm well.
Yeah,
Just got done training. Yeah.
yeah. Well, training is good. Training is good. So you're my first international guest, so thank you for that. It's mostly a
Sure.
Dutch podcast, so I have to switch it up right now.
I can't speak Dutch.
No, probably not. So that's why why I decided to switch it to English. The one championship middleweight and light heavyweight champion is here. How have you experienced this year? It's been a crazy year, right?
It's been a crazy year, yeah, for sure. I haven't fought in a year. So it's next fight's gonna be a little bit over a year. So but I'm excited to get back.
Yeah, how was it for you? Because you like to fight like regularly, and
Yeah.
do you think that will have an effect, or maybe in a mental way?
No, man, I had like almost 40 fights.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't matter. But during this time off, I've gotten stronger and I've gotten worked on some skill sets that needs to be improved.
Yeah,
So I feel good.
yeah, that's great because you can
Yeah,
take a step back and work on the fundamentals, of course.
exactly,
So,
exactly.
but you,
And,
yeah,
I
sorry.
worked a lot on my wrestling too. I said I worked a lot on my wrestling as well.
Oh, that's great.
So
That's great, and especially, of course, because you're in the U.S., there's a lot of wrestlers that can up your game really along that side, right?
yeah, I got one of the best coaches here, Coach Greg Jones, and also Kami Barzini. Yeah.
That's great. So I also read that you also got diagnosed with COVID. How was that experience for you as an athlete?
COVID. So the symptoms were I couldn't smell, I couldn't taste.
Whoa.
I had congestion, fever, slight fever of 99.7, and then fatigue. That's pretty much it. At first, I thought it was allergies,
Yeah.
and then my symptoms were very similar to my sister who had COVID, who tested positive.
Oh
So
man.
that's why I got tested, and then during that time, a couple other friends got it as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
But
but it's nothing to be too afraid of. That's how I feel. That's my viewpoint. Because not only did I get it, my whole family got it. My mother-in-law, who's 70 and kind of on the obese side, had blood pressure. She was fine. She did end up in the hospital, but she was fine. And then my daughter, who's 5 months old,
yeah.
had it as well. And for them to not say anything about it, we just went online and got the result. For a 5-month-old who have it, and for them not to call us, tell us what to do, I didn't think. I was like kind of surprised.
Yeah, of course. But of course, the elderly people are the most at risk, so to say. But of course, for a 5 month old baby, that's I'm a father myself. I can understand it's going to be very tough for you as a
Yeah,
father to digest.
yeah, yeah. If your 5-month-old has it and then they don't say nothing about it, it's like, come on, it can't be that scary.
Probably not. So, but very good that you survived it, so to say, right? So you're doing good. Yeah,
Yeah.
like in the
Oh well, now, yeah.
yeah, in the beginning it's very scary.
Conditioning wise, when I had it, my cardio wasn't good. But then afterwards, it was fine.
That's great to hear, man. I'm very happy that you're healthy, and your family, of course. You're a big man. You can receive a punch, but the family is always something to have actually care about.
If family's healthy, everything is good.
Yeah.
When your family's healthy, everything is good. So
Yeah, I feel the same about that as well. So before we
yeah,
talk about like the upcoming fight, and I always like to go a little back in the past and probably do this on every podcast, but we have to do it. So you were born in Myanmar. How was it growing up there?
but it's a different world. It's a really different world. What's your ethnicity, if you don't mind me asking?
No problem. My ethnicity is the same as your sparring partner, Tyrone. I'm from Suriname.
Yeah, so the world is very different.
Yeah.
The world in Myanmar is very different. I was born in like a village. People live in huts. We had the first house made with bricks.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then like Electricity, we didn't have electricity. We didn't have, we didn't have running water. We had well water that we had to, pour out of the well every morning. It was a different world. And for me to be here is by, God's will or God's grace or whatever. But it's a different world. My father was a jade miner. And so he was able to move us to the city so I can get an education. And then after I finished my education, I was able to come to the United States for college.
Wow. Did you already visited the U.S. before you went there to go to college?
No. The first time I went to college was,
wow.
When I came to the States, And I didn't leave the States until 2016 when I had my first fight in Myanmar.
Yeah. Wow. So how big of a culture shock was that to go from Myanmar to the U.S.?
Yeah, a little bit, but I went to an international school, so I had a lot of friends that were international and a lot of American friends as well. So for me, it wasn't too big of a culture shock, You know how in Myanmar, like we think America is like everything's like made out of gold, everything's like
the promised land.
Yeah, when I got to the dorm and I look at the bed, I was like, "This is America. This is it." I was very, very, very like, I was like, "Oh man, this is it." I wasn't impressed at all. So,
you thought it was like money on the street.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so you moved here and you studied agriculture. And why did you choose agriculture as a
Because Myanmar is a third world country and it's an agricultural country, and I wanted to improve agriculture in Myanmar. So that's why that was my vision. One day come back home and do something big with agriculture in Myanmar.
Wow! Did you have?
But then four-year college doesn't do nothing for you.
No.
Four-year college you don't really get anything out of it.
No.
So.
Won't you?
So after that, during that time, I fell in love with mixed martial arts. When I was in college studying.
Yeah. So was it hard to combine?
Was it what?
Hard to combine? The studying and mixed martial arts?
No, at that time I was just doing it as a hobby. I was just doing it as fun. And in the weekends, I would fight, get a couple $100. I'd be like, yes, I'm living the life.
I'm rich.
When you're in college, a couple $100 a fight is like a lot of money.
Yeah, of course. So, was it? And at that time, were you training with Henry around that time as well?
No, I was just training in a small gym at that time. And then I came down to Henry in 2018.
Oh wow! So it wasn't that long ago, right?
No, not too long ago. Okay. But we have such a good connection that it feels like I've known him for a long time. And we had the same birthday.
Oh, that's cool. So you automatically have a connection that way. Yeah. So, so you studied agriculture. You trained mixed martial arts while studying. So after your professional debut, you fought in some smaller leagues, or to say smaller leagues, and you fought in Bellator as well. How was that experience for you?
It was a good experience, and I told them right after the fight, I hope you guys have me back, because I would love to compete with you guys again.
Yeah. And
they said, we're gonna have you with that kind of performance. We'll bring you back, because I won by a knockout, in the first round. Yeah. And they said, of course, we'll have you back. But then they never called me back, until I was already under contract with another promotion. So.
Yeah, a little bit too
late. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is, as they say. Yeah. So you fought at Bellator.
You know what's funny? I also tried out for the Ultimate Fighter.
Really?
And both times I made it to the final, and then they take my weight class out.
Oh man.
So. Just not meant to be.
No. Something's really weren't meant to be. So, wow, that's great. Actually, well, it's not great, but still, you tried, man. You hustled.
Yeah, but it just shows you how the journey is, you know. For some people, the journey is not like this. Especially for me, it's like, oh, spinning around.
But that's great
But it
because,
is,
yeah, but like in my experience, you know, if everything's always going well, this, you know, you have to have up and downs to have a great story, you know.
yeah. Yeah, there's a saying, you know, winning gives you confidence, but then losing gives you that character, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
builds character, losing builds character. So I think all my losses has built character, you know, made me the person that I am today. I have 10 losses, you know, I have 10 losses. It's a lot.
yeah.
Most people quit after 10 losses. Nobody's dumb enough to 10 losses.
But you
So,
prevailed, man. You prevailed. So after
yeah.
a couple of fights, after the Bellator fight, you fought Jason Luke, and I think that was really the big step into the limelight for you, especially in Myanmar, right? Because
Yeah.
you gained a lot of publicity with that. And how was it for you to
Yeah.
be like a unknown fighter to like a mega star that the whole country loves? You know?
Yeah. Well, I think the first, you know, the first one championship fight that I had in Myanmar was the one that started the
The
people
hype.
noticing me. Well, it's I mean, by then I've already been in the sport for 11 years, you
Yeah.
know, fighting for 11 years. So in my head, it's like about time, you know, about time, about time this happened. But for me, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't change who I am. So I just take it, you know, day by day.
Yeah, that's great. And then you fought 3 times, and then you got signed by one championship. Did you got other offers, or was it just like Bellator not calling you back and Ultimate Fighter?
Bellator, Bellator asked me, but um, one championship because you know my dad lives there, you know, and my dad's in Asia, so to be able to see him and stuff, to see my family, to be able to travel was the main reason. And one championship also market themselves a little bit differently. You know, they're like about martial arts instead about just fights.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. So is that a very important to you as well, being like a very humble person as yourself?
Yeah, I think as as like a role model for a lot of young kids, especially in my country, it's important for me to be humble and respectful, and also know that you know there are a lot of young kids looking up to me. So I want to be a good role model to them.
Sure. Yeah. Do you see yourself fighting in the UFC or in Bellator maybe in the future, or do you really think one championship is the organization that you're going to eventually hang up the gloves, so to say?
Well, you never know. You never know where you know life takes you. But right now, I'm very happy with one championship, and I would be happy just you know being the champion and continue my career with them.
Of course.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't have that. I don't have that kind of urge. You know, if they cross promote, that's fine.
Yeah.
If not, it is what it is. I also you know, just signed a new contract for 10 fights.
Wow. Wow.
and I just did one fight with you know Brendan Vera, so I got 9 more to go.
Wow.
So
Well,
we'll see how my body holds up.
yeah, sure, sure. You were talking about cross promotion, right? If you look at like the champions from the other organizations, and well, for you it's middle and light heavyweight, and so for
No,
UFC,
I would probably stay middleweight. I would probably stay middleweight.
middleweight,
To be
right?
honest, the last 2 times I fought at light heavyweight, I've been like almost 10 pounds under the weight class.
Oh man.
You know, so
So
I think I've been middleweight. Yeah.
probably going to be middleweight. So in middleweight, we have, of course, in the UFC, Adesanya, and we have in Bellator, and it's either going to be Lima or Mousasi. But because Mousasi is Dutch, let's go with Mousasi and Adesanya. Out of those two, which one do you think will cause most challenge for you, if you look at the skill set?
I mean, they both have their own challenges, you know, and I think I have I think I have something to bring to the table if we did, you know, right. But they both are very well rounded. Like Israel is very long, and you know he's a very fluid striker. So like he would give me some problems. He would give me problems for sure. And then Mousasi is super well-rounded. He's got a great ground game, but then his striking is always clean. You know? So they both give me a lot of problems.
Yeah, could be a great challenge, man. I really hope the big organizations will come together, you know, and do some cross-promoting.
Cool, huh?
It will be really cool. Yeah, but I think one is... Sorry?
I think it'd be amazing how Ryzen and Bellator did it. You know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. Do you think one championship will be open for that?
Yeah, they've said it numerous times. You know, that Chachi said it numerous times that they would be willing to cross promote and stuff.
Yeah, well, maybe it will be great. It will be great. I will be watching it.
You never know.
You never
2020.
know.
2020.
Well, there's like life on Venus, so you know everything can happen now. really, that's crazy. Yeah, anything can happen this year. So after your one championship debut, you have a winning streak of 4. You eventually challenged Bigdash for the title. What went wrong the first time? In your opinion?
It was a short notice fight, you know, 10 days, because the initial title contender had like staph infection.
Oh man.
Nothing was done right, you know, nothing was done right. And I knew it too. They called me during Christmas when I was like, you know, eating good, New Year's dinner.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I better put my fork down. So I knew nothing was right. You know, nothing was going to be right for the first fight. But on the contract, I said if I were to lose, I want a rematch right away.
Smart. And so you did.
Yeah, and I got stitches. I got 11 stitches from that fight, 6 on this side, and then like 4 on here. I was like cut up real bad. Yeah. Yeah.
And the second one, the preparations went well. You got enough time.
Better. Yeah, better.
Better. Yeah. So how did it feel? Sorry?
Sorry?
You first.
Go ahead.
You're my guest. You first.
So on the second one, I was able to prepare really well. You know, I was able to get my nutrition on point, everything on point, my cardio on point, my striking on point, my grappling on point. I mean, still could be better, but I did the best with what I had.
Of course. You know? Yeah, there's always room for improvement, but still, you got the title. How did it feel after all those years to finally have a big promotion belt around your waist?
Unbelievable, you know, like, you know what's funny is like a couple years in like 2015, like I would coach and I would corner like my amateur guys. And then when my amateur guys would win, you know, amateur titles, I'd be so proud of them. But in the back of my head, like I was like, damn, I've never won a belt before. You know, I had a shot at King of the Cage belt. You know, I was like the CFFC belt, but I never got a belt. You know, until 2017. So.
The big one. I believe that it will be just like life-changing for you, right? Finally, after all those years, all the sacrifices.
For sure, life-changing. You know. I mean, like before that, we were living a hard life, you know. I mean, now it's a much easier life as far as financials go, you know. We were struggling big time.
You hear that a lot of fighters and family and the road to get on the big stage and to not everybody is a champion, you know. It's a real struggle to get to a specific level of fighting, of course, and. Very happy for you and your family that, you know, that part isn't a big problem anymore. But then, after you won the fight with Bigdash, you did something crazy, man. You fought a big guy. You fought Alain.
Because it was supposed to be a title fight, and then that title fight fell through. And then they gave me the opportunity, do you want to fight one of these heavyweights, the winner of the heavyweight fight? And I said, sure, you know, why not?
I'm
always down. No. And they also No, they also presented to me nicely. They said, "Oh, you're not gonna lose the belt."
You might lose your life, but not your belt. No problem.
Yeah.
But
they might break your face, but you're not gonna lose your belt. Okay, sounds good to me.
Wasn't you worried because he's like 3 divisions higher than you? Or two. Well,
no, two. So I was middleweight and then heavyweight.
Two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weren't you?
No, because I spar with heavyweights all the time.
Of course.
Because I spar heavyweights all the time. So I wasn't like I'm always down for a scrap. You know, I'm always down to whenever.
That's great.
So,
that's awesome. So,
yeah.
Maybe a little bit personal. What did your wife say when you said, "I'm going to fight this big guy"?
Well, at that time, we were already like, our pay was already higher. You know, our pay was finally higher.
Yeah.
So she said, yes. She doesn't care about me. She just cares about money.
Oh, I don't believe that. That's
no, I'm just kidding.
I know. So,
no, at that time, you know what's funny is my wife started working for, she started working for Johns Hopkins.
Okay.
The hospital, Johns Hopkins, yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
So we had really good health insurance.
Yeah, that's of course. So she didn't worry, right?
Yeah, so she wasn't worried.
I understand, but that's been a very crucial couple of years of winning the middleweight fight, a land fight, and after that, you know, what was it? You defended the middleweight title 3 times, and then Brandon Vera got down to light heavyweight, and you faced him. How was that for you?
Yeah. It was fine. You know, it was fine. I don't feel like he's like I had enough time to gain that weight and get strong, you know, to face him. And then I have a lot of great training partners like Linton Vassell, you know, Steve Maury, and the heavier guys. Yeah. So they were able to help me. And I was able to, you know, work with them a lot, so I wasn't too worried.
No, but we
you know, everything in life is about preparation.
Sure.
If you prepare well, you can, you know, you can handle whatever it is.
Yeah, of course. So you fought Brandon Vera because you're talking about sparring partners, and I know like Tyrone Spong also trains there with Henry Hope. And
yeah.
How was the sparring with Tyrone?
He's super tough. Like he's so technical. No, you can just see the way he kicks, the way he punches. Like he's been doing it for like years, and he's a master of his craft, you know. And he's super like strong.
Yeah.
If you can train with Tyrone, like you can go against anybody as far as striking goes.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
As far as striking, if you can work with Tyrone, you can work with anybody in the world.
Yeah. So
it's an honor for me. It's an honor for me to be able to work with guys that, you know, I used to look up to, and I used to, you know, watch their videos, and I used to learn from them, you know. So for me, it's an honor, a big honor for me.
That's great. So what were like the guys that you look up to when you were in college, like sparring just regularly? Yeah. What were the names for you?
Robbie Lawler. Like I used to look up to Robbie Lawler, you know. And I mean, I still do because he's a great person. And in like 2008, I fought in King of the Cage, and he was like one of the guys that were like the guest appearance, UFC guest appearance guy. Yeah. And I got to meet him and talk to him in 2008, and like 10 years later, I'm training with him. You know, so it's kind of cool.
That's weird, right? That's crazy. I have a little bit similar thing. You know, I watch fighters like you, like other people, and now I'm actually talking to them. So I understand a little bit what you're saying. Yeah, so that's great, man. Robbie Lawler.
It's kind of cool. It's a small community. You know, the MMA community is a small community. It's a small world. You know, we're so connected now. Like you're in Netherlands, I'm in the States.
Yeah.
And I'm originally from like a small country. You're originally from like a small country.
Yeah.
For us to be able to meet, talk, it just, you know, goes to show how small this world is. You know.
Really, and it gets smaller with the internet, of course. Yeah, it was really easy reaching out, and yeah, that's really great. So after you beat Brandon Vera, Didn't you get like a little bit of flame, like maybe I can take on the heavyweight title as well?
There's no point for me.
No?
Because I even if I could, like, I wouldn't be able to defend it.
Yeah,
I mean, just because of weight, just because of my weight and where I am, like, it doesn't really make sense for me. If I was 6'5", if I was like 4 or 5 inches taller, yeah, that would be my go-to place, stay heavyweight.
Sure.
But right now I'm kind of I'm 6'1". I'm not short for like I'm not short, but for heavyweights, it's not ideal.
No, I can understand. Of course. So now you're defending your title against the Dutchie, Reinier de Ridder. How did because the fight got postponed? How was your? So you probably got some extra time, like preparing for him. And did you already have him on your radar?
Oh, for sure. As soon as he his first win, I was like, wow, that was fast.
Yeah.
He's got some slick jiu-jitsu. And then his second fight, I was like, man, he's gonna have trouble with this jiu-jitsu black belt. And then he knocks the guy out, And then the third guy, I was like, man, he's gonna have a lot of trouble with this guy.
Yeah.
But he finds ways to win. So, of course, he was on my radar. And he said, keep my fucking belt shining. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, what do you think about his last fight?
His last fight?
Yeah, because it was.
He found a way to win.
Yeah, eventually he did. Yeah.
Yeah, he found a way to win. So it's like the guy's 12-0. He finds his way to win. Dangerous on the ground. I mean, am I impressed with his performance? I wasn't really impressed with his last performance. But he finds ways to win, so you got to respect that.
Of course, yeah, sure. And if you look at him like skill set, what do you see? What do you see in his skill set? That's the biggest challenge for you.
I think his jiu-jitsu is like his jiu-jitsu is his biggest attribute, and the fact that he's very long.
Yeah.
But those are the things that could potentially be a problem. But I'm training with guys that are taller than him, bigger than him, and guys with really good jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah. Did you find someone that can mimic his style a bit?
Yeah, I did.
Who is it?
I can tell you.
A little bit of mystery. I like that. But
he's the UFC like the UFC Brazil, the Ultimate Fighter Brazil middleweight winner. So
okay. Oh, that's some jiu-jitsu right there. Yeah. So that sounds great. So your preparations now for it's like in October. So you're already in camp? No, right?
No, I'm in camp 6 weeks now.
6 weeks already.
6 weeks out. Yeah.
Man, how's it going?
Great. It's going great. I'm very light right now because I've been training a lot. I'm pretty much like I could make weight tomorrow.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So you walk around on fight weight. What kind?
Yeah, around 94 kg right now. I think the fight was at 93 kg.
Oh wow. So that's cool. So if you look at the last couple of months, what do you see as the biggest growth in your skill set because of the downtime, of course?
I think my cardio, my wrestling, and my striking.
Yeah. Everything. So that's everything.
So and my jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, of course. And your mental state, everything.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but this time off really healed my body. I had some nagging injuries, little injuries here and there. I feel like my body is healthier than it was in the last 5 years.
So that's great, man. That's awesome. What kind of game plan do you think Reinier has for you?
He's gonna grab me and try to jiu-jitsu me.
Yeah, probably. He's been very outspoken about it as well. That's going to be his.
He said he's the missing puzzle piece.
He is the missing puzzle piece. That's for defeating you. But you're the Burmese Python. So how is this going to end when you both hit the ground? Could be if you oil yourself, but you know it does not allow oil. Let's see.
It will be good. I think it will be good because he's 12-0 and he's 12-0 for a reason. It's not like he's only fight guys with losing record. He's fought guys with pretty decent records too. So it should be good.
Yeah. If you look at one championship at the landscape of MMA in the months that are coming, do you think it's going to be a lot of events in all organizations? By the way.
Yeah, I think so. I think we are. We're back. Our show should be back. This coming months, and I think we'll be back to regular schedule. And I think one championship is going to acquire a lot of new fighters as well.
Yeah, I saw it because they're very busy with kickboxers as well, right? Have you noticed?
Yeah, amazing kickboxers. Yeah.
So
a lot of kickboxers.
Yeah, a lot of kickboxers from Glory as well, right? They signed a lot of kickboxers for Glory's champions as well. Is that a nice thing for you, maybe to do that? Just a couple of kickboxing fights.
For me?
Yeah.
It's not. I could, but it's not good to try to mix too much things.
Yeah.
Just stick to something that you're good at. That's the Dutch way, isn't it?
Yeah, master everything. Yeah, it is. But still, it's nice to see people, do a bit of kickboxing and do a bit of, because there are opportunities in one championship, of course, to do that.
If I'm gonna do it, I would do it lead weight. I would do a traditional fight. Yeah.
Lead weight. Yeah. Not a lot of people know about lead weight. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, lead weight is the Burmese martial arts. It's like Muay Thai, but in Myanmar, and we are allowed to headbutt as well. Headbutt, and if you knock me out, my corner can wake me back up, and then we keep fighting.
All right.
Yeah.
So decisions in leadweight are a little bit different than decisions in MMA, right?
Yeah.
Have you fought leadweight a lot?
No, I haven't. I haven't fought leadweight, but that's one of my dreams, to fight leadweight. But you never know,
Yeah,
you never know.
But there are opportunities in one championship to do so, or aren't they?
I think so. But the rule set's not going to be traditional leadweight.
Okay, of course, because of the headbutts, it's going to be tough, right?
They're not going to allow headbutts. They're not going to allow the cornermen to revive the guys when they get knocked out.
Yeah.
Safety is not it. It's not it. Safety, it doesn't come first in our culture.
No, but I understand that the people from Myanmar is a very resilient people, right? Been through a lot.
We're very physically we can take a lot of punishment. Punishment is kind of normal for us. Since we're kids, we got beat. Since we're kids, my mom buy beating sticks so to beat us. So I think punishment is pretty normal.
Yeah. Well. And our culture is the same. If you have a big mouth, you get a beating. That's it.
Yeah.
So that's it. And you spoke about in the beginning of the podcast. You talk about the agriculture and the things you want to do for Myanmar. What kind of things do you do now to give back to the country and the people in Myanmar?
So I sponsor a couple of kids. Not a couple. I sponsor 5 kids so that they can train lead weight. And go to school as well. They're right now in Mandalay. They live in Mandalay and they train there. And they fought about, each of them has fought about 3 or 4 times before the pandemic happened. These are the young kids, the next generation. And I want to do that to a bigger scale once I'm done. Once I'm done competing.
Yeah. So. Wow. So what's the situation now?
I also work with this education. It's called My Me Project. It's an education. These guys have school buses, classroom school buses where they teach kids that work in tea shops the kids that are in child labor, you know, because child labor over there is kind of it's not against the law.
No.
Family members, family kids can work in the family stores and stuff. So these mobile education, they give them homeschooling kind of like that.
Oh,
So
very important.
I kind of work with them.
That's great, man. That's great giving back. So, but there's like there's been some you've done a lot of things, right? I've been reading up like a little bit of the history of Myanmar. It's been a rough history as well, and for you, you've been like being, how do you call it? You've been a medal? No, you're like it's hard to find the English word, but you got like a trophy or something. No, not a trophy. You got something from the prime minister or something.
Yeah, like an ambassador for I tourism ambassador, and also like so for my country, like now that like I'm in a position where I can kind of like people look up to me. I try to promote peace, you know, because we have an ongoing civil war, you know, between the ethnic minorities, and I try to promote peace as much as I can, you know, so that the country can grow and be educated, because things like education and the little things are an issue in our country still, you know. So the things that we take it for granted in America, we take it for granted in Holland, is like something that we don't have in Myanmar.
Yeah. So this is like the longest civil war in history, right?
Yeah.
And it's still going. It's still ongoing.
It's still ongoing. Yeah.
Oh man. And it's
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No. Wow. That's terrible, man. That's terrible. So, what have you done for the agriculture? Did you think about doing something for the agriculture now? Now you're in the position you can do something now.
Yeah, probably not. Probably stick with martial arts, mixed martial arts,
and inspire from there.
Yeah, and probably this year we're supposed to open our first gym there, but then COVID happened, so it's been delayed, postponed. But I think my calling is to go back and inspire the next generation of mixed martial artists, and continue to be try to help people out over there.
Sure. How is Myanmar doing with COVID? Is there like a total lockdown or?
Myanmar might be one of the lowest, one of the lowest rate in the world. You can't really have it when you don't test for it, right?
Yeah, true. It's true. That's true. So yeah, but do you think it's a real problem in there as well, or do you think it's just a safety precaution?
Safety precaution. Like the second wave just hit. Apparently, like the second wave hit, so things they're going back to lockdown again. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is. Going back to your question, it is hard. It's hard for the people. It's hard for the people. It's hard for the students, the school.
Mm-hmm. So, I think I have my last question for you. And that's you have finished all of your fights dating to, I think it's 2017. So from there to now, you finished all those fights. Do you see any other outcome in your upcoming fight against Reinier de Ridder?
No. No, I'm gonna finish him. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna finish him.
Do you know? Do you have like a way? Do you know a way? Do you think there's a way, or do you think we'll just have to wait and see?
I'm gonna finish him. It will be within 5 rounds.
Of course.
The longer, it will be between 5 rounds. Maybe the 3rd round, 4th round. We'll see.
Wow.
But I'm gonna take him to a place where he's never been.
That even sounds scary when you say that to me, and you're not even fighting me. But but that's great. So thank you, Aung La, very much for this interview, and I wish you the best of luck, of course. And man, when are you coming to the Netherlands?
Man, I hope soon. You know, I hope when we can travel. It looks so beautiful, like the windmills and all that. Like, it looks so beautiful.
There aren't a lot of windmills, and not everybody walks on clumps and tulips.
Well, I'm just saying, the tulips there, it just looks so beautiful, though.
Well, if you come here,
people walking around in the wooden shoes, it looks so beautiful.
They're like, maybe you'll see one. There really isn't a lot of people walking around in wooden shoes. But if you're here, I'm gonna buy you some wooden shoes.
I know, but one day, and then I'll come visit you as well.
Okay, it's a date from there. Aung La, thank you very much again, and I wish you a very nice evening. Oh, it's an afternoon there.
If you're ever in Florida, hit me up.
Will do.
If you're ever in Florida, hit me up.
Will do.
I'll cook you a nice steak.
Ooh, a steak, right? Oh man, I'm gonna. Oh, wow. But traveling isn't allowed now, is it?
Yeah. No, not yet.
I gotta find. I'll paddle a boat for our Aung La Nsang steak.
Yeah.
Thanks again,
Medium
man.
rare. The only way to do it. Yep. Take care, my man.
Yeah, you too, brother. Bye.
Okay.
Dat was Aung La. Ik hoop dat jullie het leuk vonden. Het was iets korter dan normaal. Maar ja, op de zeg je gewoon je vragen op. En dan moet je gewoon stoppen. Tof dat je hebt gekeken naar een nieuwe aflevering weer van de Aankomende podcast. Volgende week wordt het ook nog spannend. Want volgende week is het Fight Week. Costello van Steenis vecht dan tegen Fabian Edwards op een main event in Milaan. En 3 keer raden wie ik in de uitzending heb. Costello van Steenis live dus volgende week woensdag hier bij de Aankomende podcast. Stuur je vragen erin. Hij is natuurlijk in het eerste seizoen is hij ook langsgekomen. Hadden we een heel ander gesprek. En nu gaan we hem zien eigenlijk in volle voorbereiding. Echt 2 dagen voordat hij moet vechten komt hij langs. Super tof dat hij dat wil doen. En misschien dat we nog een speciale gast hebben later op die dag. Ik heb nog hele leuke dingen in petto, maar die ga je nog niet aankondigen totdat ze 100% rond zijn. Tof dat je hebt gekeken. Mocht je mij nog niet volgen, check Chin MMA. Dat is mijn account. En vond je er niks? Ook prima. Blijf gewoon hier op de Epic MMA podcast. Tot de volgende keer. Ciao.